After 6 weeks, I was actually called to go to the mission office to serve as the executive secretary of the mission. So that's when I kind of learned all about this kind of the church in the area, the church in the state of Ceará, which is, it's Fortaleza is the city, Ceará is the state. When I entered the MTC, the mission had just split. It was one of a new mission that was created. I think 52 missions were created in 2013, and they created the Fortaleza East mission. So when I got to the MTC is when they did that split. And so when I got there, it had been split a few months before. And so Fortaleza takes most of the city of Fortaleza Mission takes most of the city of Fortaleza, and then a few what we call interior cities, which are outside of the capital city, which is Fortaleza is the capital of Ceará. And so it takes a few cities, and actually while I was there is where they opened up the interior cities. We have a city about 2-3 hours away from the capital city called Itapipoca, where there's a small branch, and I was able to go there. And then also we have there's a city called Pecém y Paracuru, both on the coast. Pecém is a big port for the state of Ceará, and those both have small branches. All of those were open, while I was there on the mission. And then while I was in the mission office, we opened up a city called Canidé, and my companion, who was training me to be the executive secretary, was actually called, and he opened up that city. It's about 3 hours away. Very Catholic city. It has a big famous Catholic statue, San Francisco, and that has a small branch as well. It's a special opportunity to get called to go outside of the capital city. Most all the missionaries are inside the capital city. We have 8 stakes in our mission, and there's 8 in the other mission. So within the state of Ceará, there's 16 stakes. So the church is growing really fast. Back in 2009, President Monson announced the Temple of Fortaleza, and in 2011, Elder Bednar visited, and he broke the ground. And they have the land, and everything is still planned for that, but it hasn't been constructed yet. And we're now in 2015. But while I was there, the church was growing really fast, still is growing really fast. We had Elder Anderson visit us in 2014, and in this year, 2015, Elder Christofferson came to visit us. So it's a really fast growing area of the church. I think in the late 1980s is when kind of the first stake was created there, and since then there's been additional 15 stakes. So it grows really fast. Lots of members, faithful members, and it's just it was awesome to be a part of kind of the church as a first and second generation there. Most of the people that are members of the church, they weren't born in the church. Sometimes they are. It's, I think, rare that you get a third generation. I only knew a few families that were third generation of the church, but most of them, were baptized in the church not at 8 years old. And they remember, I remember the missionaries when they first came, or when they first talked to my dad on the street or something like that. And so that kind of thrives, and kind of within the church is just such a missionary-minded organization there, because each of them have personal experiences. And so that's something I loved, going there, and they love the missionaries because we were the people, and they look at us and they see that name tag, and well, that's what brought this joy to our family. And a lot of them were baptized, within the last year, and they're super part of the church, and the church is very including. And I love bringing people to church, and when it's not too hard to get people to church there. The buildings are very beautiful, and people always know where the church buildings is, and because it's usually the nicest building in the part of the town, and so it's not hard to get people there. And when people get there, they're kind of wrapped up in this awesome culture of love and unity, and they feel the love of the Savior. And there's lots of churches there beyond the LDS church, but everyone that comes, they say there's just something different here. And so I think for that, being the church being so missionary minded, the church members, and kind of they know what it's like to go to the church for the first time. When many people, I didn't know, most people around here, they don't know. Our grandparents have been members of the church, our parents. We don't know what it's like to kind of show up there at a time, and we kind of take it for granted. But the people there, since they were baptized at, well into their lives, they understand the people that we're bringing to church, they understand where they're coming from, and they're able to help them out. So for that, the church is growing at a tremendous rate there, and will continue to grow. My first area in the Brazil Fortaleza Mission was Sevilla, Ala Sevilla, which is ward. Ala means ward, Sevilla, and it was in the Ceará stake. And then I got transferred to Aldeota, which is the big part of the city where you have the big skyscrapers, where the mission office is there, and that's in the Fortaleza stake. And I actually spent 7 months there. I was there for quite a while. Love Aldeota. And I have lots of good friends in Aldeota. Really love that part of the city. And then I got transferred to Alaberehio, which is part of the Litoral stake. And that's kind of on the outskirts of the city. My area actually bordered the next city over, which is Caucaia. But I really loved that area. And really great people in that ward and that stake. Really awesome missionary-minded people in that stake. And then I was transferred to an area called Parque das Nações, which covered a few bios or a few neighborhoods of Fortaleza. Really love that stake as well. It's a Montesi stake. I really loved all my areas, but that one I have a lot of good friends that I still talk to on almost a daily basis through Facebook. I love it. And then my last and final area was Caucaia, which is the city just right outside of Fortaleza, and that is where I ended my mission, and that covers almost all of Caucaia, and then within our zone there was lots of cities in the interior, so we had to travel every week on a bus to go out to Itapipoca, which is about 2.5 hours away, or we were going to Pecém or Paracuru, which were both coastal cities, and a lot of traveling in that last area as well. But awesome, all 5 areas, really great. So Sevilla I spent only 6 weeks, then Aldeota was 7 months, and then about 4 months in Berejio, 4 months in Parque das Nações, and 4 months in Caucaia, about that. So, but I loved all my areas. I was extremely blessed to go through the wards I did, and I just love the members and the people that I was able to come in contact with and help them become members of that ward. And each ward has a special part in my heart. I got to Fortaleza, and then I was there, I don't remember the months now. I used to know the exact months, but I remember I got there and I stayed inside the city limits of Fortaleza my entire mission until my last transfer, where I went to Caucaia. But it's really just a river, Caucaia is not technically part of the city of Fortaleza, but it's just a city right on the border of it. It's part of the, I don't know what they refer to it here, but it's, I guess, a suburban city. I don't know, suburb. I guess it would be a suburb of Fortaleza. I don't know. But so yeah, but Caucaia is right there in Fortaleza, and so I spent almost my entire mission in Fortaleza, and then just the last little bit, a city right outside of Fortaleza. But I was able to travel quite a bit and kind of see, kind of way out there, which a lot of missionaries don't get to see. Most missionaries that the mission had at the time when I was there was 230, and there'd probably be 200 of them in the city of Fortaleza. It's very rare, and it's a special opportunity to be able to go out and kind of see the state of Ceará a little bit more than just the city of Fortaleza. And it was awesome. I loved it.